His divine grace, Srila Abhay Charanavrinda, Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Jai Shikar Dharmahamsa, Hari Vrajika Charya Asatharasati Shishima. His divine grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srila Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavrinda ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kunda Veer Govardhan ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Radha ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham ki Jai. Ganga Mai ki Jai. Jaguna Mai ki Jai. Tulsi Devi ki Jai. Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Yajna ki Jai. Briham Vrinamra Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution ki Jai. Shri Kartik Maha Mahotsava ki Jai. Kartik Maas ki Jai. Kartik Vrata ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaurika ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Gopi Vallabha ki Jai. Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the Son of the Devotee. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Son of the Devotee. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Son of the Devotee. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru Shri Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Is there a reverb on this?
Sorry.
That's okay. I always like to be in a cave. There we go. Hare Krishna. Back to little treble. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Jnanachanandasya, Jnananjana Shalakaya, Chakshur Nilapam Jena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayurpa Kadamayam Yadati Svakarantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakalam Shri Guru Vaishavanscha Shri Rupam Sarvajatam Sahagana Radhinatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarveta Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakadvitamscha Nama Om Shrimparadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschacharishnakarine Vanchakalpatarvishya Kripasindhubhya evacha Patitanam bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Gurmukam Proti Vacharam Bhangam Gangayate Girim Yakripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishvaram. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we welcome everyone to tonight's Wednesday night feast program here at the Hare Krishna Temple in Boston. And before we begin, we'd like to ask, is there anyone here for the first time? Oh, most welcome. Where have you come from?
Berkeley College of Music.
I was also a student at Berkeley College of Music. Yeah. Class of 87, MP and E.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when I found out about the Hare Krishna movement and that every day you're guaranteed to sing and dance, I said, this is the movement for me. I knew I would be happy. And it's been 27 years. I've been living in different Hare Krishna ashrams, mostly in India. But I'm so happy to be back here in Boston, my old stomping grounds. And I'm so pleased that all these musicians have come today from Berkeley College of Music, as well as everyone else who's here. And that is the nature of the soul. Is the soul is joyful, and we want to sing and we want to dance and express ourselves through music. And where does this tendency come from? Where does music come from? It comes from God, who's the source of everything. And we can see the original form of God on the altar here is Krishna. And Krishna is playing the flute. Yes. So even God likes to jam out. Right? That's where we get the tendency from. And it is our great aspiration that after being in this material world, birth after birth, reincarnation for millions of lifetimes, that eventually we can get attracted to the sound of Krishna's flute and go to the great music party in the spiritual world and play with Krishna. Like you've always wanted to play with some of your favorite musicians. That's why you come to Berkeley. Some of them are there teaching and studying also. And wouldn't it be great to be able to jam out with God? What a wonderful proposal. So the scriptures, like Srimad Bhagavatam, are compared to windows that open to the spiritual world. They give us a glimpse of what the spiritual world is like. Just like when you go to a travel agent and you say, my winter vacation is coming up at Berkeley. I'm thinking to visit some other places in America. Like maybe I can go to New York City, right? I had some friends, I'm from New York City, and I had some friends in Berkeley. And they said, you're from New York, let's go. December, we'll visit you, we'll visit New York City. So we did that. But coming back to the example, a travel agent will give you a travel brochure and it'll tell you there are these nice restaurants in New York, nice museums, nice concert halls, and you get attracted. Yes, sounds good, let's go. So the same way, our scriptures, they give us glimpses of what it'd be like to travel to the spiritual world. where Krishna plays 4 different kinds of flutes. One of them is small, it's called a murli, that he's playing on the altar, and they get progressively bigger. And there's a bass flute that he plays like, it's deep in the forest under the full moon, and just attracts everyone's mind. It comes to him. And it's described that his favorite note is the 5th note. We have in the West, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So in the scriptures, the Sanskrit is sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. So his favorite note is the 5th note. Sa, pa. Jai Shri Radha Gopi Bhagavata Jai. So, going to the travel agent and giving this information about the spiritual world from the scriptures, we get attracted to head towards the spiritual world. And that lets us relax our grip on this material world. Because the material world also has its attractions and allurements. Whereas, although coming to this material world, it seems like it's good. I mean, we get beautiful autumn leaves, we get iPhone 10, there's some things that seem attractive. But on the other side, everyone here in this material world faces birth, death, disease, and old age. No one is exempt from these 4 things. So that kind of puts a damper on our happiness here in this material world. My mother told me, why do I need God? Everything is great. I have my family, I have my nice job, everything is going good. But for how long? At some point, either ourselves or a loved one will always experience one of these 4 things: birth, death, disease, and old age. My mother got cancer, and she left her body about 5 years ago. It was very sad. But fortunately, I was there with her at the time when she left her body. And I was chanting and singing for her right in front of her. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, the scriptures explain that if one leaves their body while they're hearing this mantra, they get a very good destination. They get a very positive next life. So that made me happy to have that opportunity to do that service for my mother. So coming back to the point, this material world has its attractions, but we want to become free of these attractions and get attracted to something better, which is the spiritual world, where there is no death, no disease, no old age. Everything is Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Our scriptures explain Sat, eternity, Chit, filled with knowledge, Ananda, filled with bliss. This is the spiritual world. Material world, Asat, everything is temporary. Achit, there's ignorance here, and Nir Ananda, there's also misery here. So spiritual world is better, but we need to get attracted to that. and we need some information about the spiritual world. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame vidyam evam yoveti tattvataha chattva deham punar janma nanti mameti sojuna, which means one who understands my nature, that I am transcendental to this material world. My birth is transcendental. My activities are transcendental. Does not take birth again in this material world, but instead goes to my supreme abode. This is Krishna's words in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is one of the main scriptures that we read. We have a copy here. Can I have a copy, please? Thank you, Stephen Prabhu. So this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad means God. It's one of the unlimited names for God. And Gita means song. So it's a scripture that's meant to be sung. So it's a very musical scripture. It's sung in Sanskrit. Sanskrit is called Devanagari, the language of the gods. So very beautiful. So Bhagavad Gita as it is, beautiful book, it's changed my life. So I'm very happy to announce that tonight is one of the most special and auspicious nights of the entire year. It's the full moon. Tonight is the Purnima, the full moon. And tonight begins the lunar month of Kartik. And Kartik is the most auspicious month in the whole year, in which during this month, whatever spiritual activities that we do, we get 1,000 times the benefit. Everything's magnified. So you came to the temple tonight one time, but because you came tonight, it's like coming 1,000 times. So everyone likes a sale. I was with one of my friends yesterday, and she said, yeah, I got this 50% off. I buy everything on sale. So we always like to take advantage of a sale. So this month, spiritual benefits are just being given so freely. You get 1,000 times the benefit. If you chant Hare Krishna even once, it's like chanting Hare Krishna 1,000 times. And if you read one page of Bhagavad Gita, it's like reading 1,000 pages. So this is a great opportunity this month to amplify our spiritual life, our spiritual activities. So many devotees, they take special vows on this month. They'll increase their chanting, increase their reading of scriptures, increase their attendance of spiritual gatherings. Some people take vows of austerity. I will sleep on the floor for 1 month. Some people, they say, I will only eat once per day. They say, I will only eat khichdi, which is rice and beans, once per day. Some will say, I will only eat once per day. It's on the floor, my hands are behind my back. And once I go down and I come back up, that's it. The whole day. So these austerities are meant to increase our focus on our spiritual life and less focus on our bodies, on the material life. Of course, everyone should do this comfortably in a way that they can remember Krishna more and increase their spiritual activities, not in such a way that they're thinking, oh man, when am I going to eat today? You know, I hope the floor is clean. We want to keep focused on spiritual activities. So one of the activities that we do this month that's very special is we offer a lamp, we offer a flame to the deity of Yashoda and Damodar. Damodar is a name for Krishna when Krishna was very small. Krishna appeared in this world 5,000 years ago in a place called Vrindavan. And I've been there. I spent a lot of time. And this month of Kartik, thousands of devotees congregate there. It's about 3 hours south of Delhi towards Agra. And it's a town, but there's 5,000 temples there. So it's like a real spiritual hotbed, you know, and everyone you meet will just say Hare Krishna. So it's a very special place. And tonight, the big festival is kicking off there. You know, there's thousands of devotees. Now, all offer lamps. It's so beautiful. You see thousands of lamps being offered. And we'll do that also here. Now, I want to talk about the benefits of offering the lamp. It's said that anyone who offers this lamp to Yashoda Damodar, Damodar is a name for Krishna, and Yashoda is a name for Krishna's mother. Right? You have a mother, I have a mother. Why God shouldn't have a mother? How can we have something God doesn't have? Do you love your mother? I hope so. Probably. So Krishna also loves his mother. So that's one of the great joys in life, is the love between a child and a child's mother. It's a great joy. So Krishna also likes to experience this relationship, this joy. And there's some dealings between his mother and Krishna that happened this month, which with the mercy of Krishna, I'll tell you in just a moment. This very special pastime. Yashoda, Yash means famous. She's very famous because she's Krishna's mother, so everyone knows her. And I'll tell you what Damodar means later. But first, by offering a lamp to Yashoda Damodar in the month of Kartik, one does not take birth again, but goes back to the spiritual world. So powerful. Very powerful. And like this, there are so many glories of offering the lamp. Once in a temple, it was Kartik and people were offering lamps. One person had put down the lamp, and the lamp was about to become extinguished. It was about to go out. So this one mouse was in the temple and wanted to eat some of the clarified butter on one of the lamps, and his tail caught fire, and he got immolated, you know. But because he had offered himself as a lamp, he went back to the spiritual world. So very, very powerful process. So this is the month. We have Krishna, and we have Krishna's consort named Radha. We worship God in both masculine and feminine aspects. How can you worship God as only masculine? That's only half the picture. So we worship the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Mother, Radha, and Krishna. And this month of Kartik is Radha's month. It's the compassionate nature of Krishna, Radha, and this month of Kartik is Radha's month. So much mercy is available. So I want to relate this pastime of Yashoda and Damodar, sometimes also called the Mukkan Chor Leela. Mukkan means butter, and Chor means thief. It's Krishna, the butter thief. You ready? If you're ready, say Haribol.
Haribol.
Okay. Mother Yashoda was getting complaints from her friends in the cow herd community. They're all herding cows. That Krishna, your son, is coming over to our house and stealing our butter. Do you want your son to grow up and be a thief? You better do something about this. Actually, they just love to talk about Krishna. And they pretended to be angry, but actually they liked it when Krishna was coming to their house. But they loved discussing with Mother Yashoda. So then Mother Yashoda, she's thinking, why Krishna is stealing butter from our neighbors? Is there something wrong with my butter? Maybe it's because I'm having my maidservants make the butter. I'm going to make the butter myself. If you want to get something done right, do it yourself. So Mother Yashoda, she checked out all of her husband Nanda Maharaj's cows. How many cows did Nanda Maharaj have? 900,000 cows. He's got a big herd of cows. And of all these cows, 1,000 cows were the best. So she grew special grass and fed this grass to 1,000 of the best cows. Then milked the cows, then fed that milk to the 100 best cows, milked those cows, fed that milk to the 10 best cows, milked those cows, fed that milk to the 1 best cow. And that milk coming from that cow was called Padma Ganda milk. Padma means lotus. Ganda means aroma, scent. So the milk was so sweet that it had the scent, the taste, and the aroma of lotus flowers. Now when you go to the Whole Foods, and you go in the milk section, you can see chocolate milk, strawberry milk, vanilla milk, almond milk, but you won't see lotus milk yet. Till maybe some spy will come from Whole Foods here. So this is the most wonderful milk, the Padma Ganda milk. And it was used to make sweets for Krishna. So Mother Yashoda was boiling some of that milk on the stove in a clay pot. And she was also churning some milk into yogurt and then churning it into butter. In those days, they didn't have like Cuisinart, to churn things into butter or mixers. She had a post and a pot and a rope, and the bangles on her arms, the bracelets were moving back and forth. Ching, 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 ching. It was compared to the sound of cartels. As she's churning the butter. Now Krishna, he's about 4 years old, 3-4 years old. He's lying in, how old was Krishna? How old are children when they drink breast milk? 2. Okay, I never had a kid. So then, Krishna's very small, and he wakes up hearing the sound of his mother churning. And not only his mother is churning, but his mother is singing songs about him to remember him. She's always making up songs about his activities, how he killed different demons like Putana and Trinavarta and Shakatasura. And she's singing these beautiful songs, and he hears her singing and he hears her churning the butter, and he becomes hungry for her love. So he climbs out of bed and he goes to where she's churning the butter, and he grabs the churning rod and he says, "Now you give your attention to me." And he climbs up on her lap, and she looks into his beautiful face, and she's smiling at him, and he's smiling at her, and she begins to feed him her breast milk, and he's so happy. And then all of a sudden, in the kitchen, the milk begins to think. Because in the spiritual world, there's nothing that's inanimate. There's nothing that doesn't have consciousness. Everything has consciousness in the spiritual world. So the milk is thinking. Mother Yashoda's love is unlimited. Therefore, her milk must be unlimited. Therefore, Krishna will drink her milk forever, and he'll never drink me. What is the use of living? If Krishna's not going to drink me, I might as well just commit suicide. And the milk began boiling over into the fire. to commit suicide. So it made sound. The milk is boiling into the fire. So then Mother Yashoda, somebody's saying, please do this. Someone is saying, please do that. And this Prabhu is saying that. This Prabhu is saying that. So many Prabhus. What to do? So sometimes we have to take guidance from our advisors in these matters. So Mother Yashoda, she said, let me put down Krishna and go and save the milk that's for Krishna. So she put Krishna down and went to save the milk from the fire. Meanwhile, Krishna became very angry, the fire. Meanwhile, Krishna became very angry. Why has Mother Yashoda put me down? I'm still hungry. Her business is with me. Where did she go? So he picked up a rock and he threw the rock at the clay pot that she was churning the butter and broke the pot of butter and began to eat the butter, freshly churned butter. And began to eat the butter, freshly churned butter. He had all over himself. And then he was full. He picked up the butter, went into another room, and was feeding the monkeys. And the monkeys were very happy. Anyone who's been to Vrindavan, the place is packed with monkeys. And then he was climbing up on a grinding mortar, climbing up to the ceiling. There was some butter hanging on the swing. And he took that butter and he was feeding the monkeys. And he was looking around like in great fear if Mother Yashoda is going to come and catch me. He's looking around. Meanwhile, Mother Yashoda returns from the kitchen and she sees the broken pot of butter and she sees little footprints in butter. And she says, oh, this must be Krishna's work. And she picks up a stick in order to chastise him. And she very slowly starts following the footprints. Where is Krishna? She goes into the next room and she sees Krishna standing on the grinding mortar, feeding the butter to the monkeys. And the monkeys see Mother Yashoda, and they jump and start running away and screaming. And Krishna sees Mother Yashoda, and his eyes grow wide with fear. He jumps down from the grinding mortar, and with tears in his eyes, he starts running and running. And Mother Yashoda is running after him. And Krishna's running in the front, and Mother Yashoda's running behind. And Krishna's in front, and Mother Yashoda's behind, and Krishna's in the front, and Mother Yashoda's behind. And everyone in the village is watching. Big Mother Yashoda with her big hips, big breasts, and flowers in her hair, and she's struggling to catch Krishna. And Krishna's just ding, 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 ding. He's just running ahead. Now there are flowers in Mother Yashoda's hair. And they're thinking, Mother Yashoda is this great devotee of Krishna. How can we be on her head? We should be on her feet. So they jump off. Other flowers are thinking, now, Mother Yashoda is chasing Krishna, but Krishna is a supreme God. So it is not right that she's chasing Krishna. Krishna should do whatever he wants. We do not want to participate in this. We protest. We're leaving. So they jump off. Some other flowers are thinking that actually Mother Yashoda should catch Krishna because Krishna's been very naughty and he needs to be punished. But because we're on Mother Yashoda's head, we're slowing her down. Wind resistance. Therefore, let us jump down so she can run faster. So they jump down also. So all these flowers are falling from her hair. And she's running and running. Now, it's explained in our scriptures that no great yogi or jnani, someone who's studying unlimited scriptures, or tapasvi, someone doing austerities and tapasya, no one can catch Krishna. Only a bhakta Bhakti means devotional service, love. Only one who has love for God, that person can catch Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham, which means, as you surrender unto me, I reward you accordingly. So because of Mother Yashoda's great love for Krishna, Krishna allows Mother Yashoda to catch him. So she catches him, and she has the stick in her hand, and he's crying, and he's pleading, and the tears are just rolling down his face, and he has this black ointment, this black cudgel under his eyes. And with his tears, the cudgel is just smearing all over his face, and he's rubbing his eyes, and he has this black cudgel. He looks so beautiful. And he's pleading, please, Mother, please put down that stick. I made a mistake, I did it, but please, I won't do it again. Please put down that stick. So her heart is just melting, and she puts down the stick. And she has other duties to perform, other household duties. And she's afraid, what's going to happen with Krishna? He's so afraid, maybe he'll run away. So she decides to tie Krishna up, to keep him in one place. So she takes that grinding mortar that he was standing on, which was also an accomplice in the crime, also should be tied up. And she takes a piece of rope and tries to tie Krishna around the waist. But she cannot tie him. The rope is 2 fingers too short. So she takes another rope and ties it to the first rope and tries to tie Krishna. Again, the rope is 2 fingers too short. She calls all of her friends, bring ropes, bring ropes, bring ropes. And they all bring thousands of ropes, and they're all tied together. But again, the rope is 2 fingers too short. So because she's perspiring and she's endeavoring, and out of her love, she's desiring to tie him, then Krishna finally allows himself to be tied up. And he's tied around the stomach. So stomach in Sanskrit, Damo Udar. Damo Udar means stomach, and Damo means rope. So he's tied around the stomach with rope. You'll see on the altar, when we're offering the lamp, we're offering to Krishna, who's been tied up by his mother around his stomach, Damodar. So that is why he's called Damodar. And our great teachers explain the lesson behind these 2 fingers. 1 finger means Bhakta ki prayas. The devotee, we must make an endeavor. We must try. We must do our best to accomplish something. But nothing can be accomplished without the 2nd finger. And the 2nd finger indicates the mercy of the Supreme Lord, the will of the Supreme. There's a famous Hindi saying, Hum jab yojana banate hai, to Krishna haste hai. Those who understand Hindi are laughing. It means if you want to see God laugh, tell him your plans. Because we can't accomplish anything without the mercy of God. So that is the lesson behind the 2 fingers. We need to make an endeavor, and we need the mercy of God. And the most important lesson in this pastime, in this story, is that Krishna can only be conquered by love. God can only be conquered by love. And God is conquered by the love of his pure devotee, with no material desires, no selfish desires. The desire of the devotee is only to please God. And God is conquered by such pure devotion. So, this information, and did you enjoy the story?
Yes, Haribol.
Yeah? So, it's very enjoyable, and it's very, gives us great lessons, gives us great wisdom, and it attracts us to hearing more and getting more absorbed in Krishna and getting closer to the spiritual world. So we owe our gratitude to His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who brought this knowledge with him here to Boston in 1965. And there's a statue of him sitting right behind you. I don't know if did you notice when you walked in? This statue? Yes. It made a big impression on me first time I came in. I thought he was real. He was sitting so straight. I said, what a great yogi. He's not even moving. So we owe a great deal of thanks to Srila Prabhupada for giving us this wonderful message. So welcome again on this first night of Kartik. And now we'll have some music, some dancing, and we'll offer a lamp to Yashoda Damodar. Thank you very much. Very good.
Radha Gopi Vallabha ki jai.
Krishna Prasthaya Srimate Bhakti Santa Swami Devotees would like to come and offer lamps. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now we'll try to sing this Damodar Astakam. This is a song that describes the story that we just told in Sanskrit. This is from the Padma Purana, and it was originally composed by Satyavat Muni. Can we do it like a dota?